Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. Now listen to this, and you join me in doing this. Oh, man. You know, the reason for that is that the search for love can provide interesting challenges. We know this, but when you find the one, everything seems to effortlessly fall into place. I mean, this is really an exciting story. It's the story of Pauline, Moeketsi, and Tembe, who met on a dating app at the height of early lockdown when things were just so all over the place and so difficult to achieve. And from having their first date via Zoom, okay, listen to this, have you ever, to recently getting engaged. Their love has caught the attention of Mzansi, and they're joining us now via video call to share more about their journey. Let's give them a warm, ululating Expresso Feel Good welcome.
Look at that glow. It is that engagement glow. Both of you have it. It is so good to be able to connect with probably Mzansi's hottest couple right now because everyone is speaking about it. Pauline, we want to know the prayer girl. You need to write it down for us because it seems that you manifested Sia into your life as you wrote on your vision board at the beginning of 2020 that you wanted a serious relationship with the man of your dreams. Cues Music 2021. When you met Sia on the dating app, did you have a feeling that he was that man, he was the one? We want all the tea, girl.
Okay, cool. Honestly, initially, no. I did not know that he was the one. I was 5-2 deleting the app because, the struggle is real. Then we matched and I was like, okay, this guy, cute. And I like what he's written in his bio. So let me give it one last chance, okay? And I did. The conversation was very formal and serious initially. There were no pickup lines involved at all. But yeah, we've been chatting literally every single day since. And now here he is.
And now there he is. Sia, what was it like getting to, meet a girl and get to know each other virtually, like on Zoom? How did it feel when you first initiated that Zoom conversation? I believe for her it seemed very formal and very, very clinical. What was the experience like when you had that Zoom call? But of course, when you then eventually met, was it a different experience altogether?
Yeah, so look, because we met on a dating app and we're texting, and I feel that I'm more charismatic in person, the chat did kind of start a little bit dry. But, we soon started texting every day about each other's day, things we liked, our commonalities, things we shared in common. The Zoom date was actually pretty awesome. We did an online escape room and like a couples quiz, and that was a lot of fun. But meeting in person when the president said, look, we can go to level 4, that was very nerve-wracking for me. I spilled coffee all over my car. Thank goodness Pauline has a good sense of humor and just laughed it off. But yeah, it was very nervous, but soon into it, and because it was an activity date, we kind of eased into it and nerves kind of relaxed. And then, the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Stop it. Love is so beautiful, and I love seeing it on the both of you. Sia? And then, of course, let's talk about the engagement. You pulled off an epic surprise proposal on Pauline's birthday 2 weeks ago, and your unique story has now been shared with the nation. We love seeing it. How does it feel to, give inspiration to those who are seeking genuine love in these tricky times, especially in times of COVID, in times where people don't want to do these love anymore. They just want to do hookups and all of this. And here you have a love story to share with everyone.
Yeah, well, look, we had an outpouring of love from a lot of people on our engagement. And one, I'd just like to say I did it for the short guys. There was some guy on Twitter who said, you see short guys, it's possible. So I'm glad to be able to. But just aside, love comes in like many different shapes and sizes, looks different for everyone. So I'm glad that, some people could look at our story and say, look, there's hope out there. And at the end of the day, I think if you're genuine, if you're authentically who you are, you can find that person for you.
And here's the thing, all of that is so beautiful, and I mean, goosebumps everywhere, my blood, the chills, honestly, everything. I am living for this love. But now it's time to plan for the next level, right? It started off with Zoom, then there was lockdown lifting, you met for lunch, then there was a surprise engagement, now the wedding. Now you have to plan the wedding. You must have thought about this. I mean, you're a girl of vision boards, baby. Tell me that the wedding, you've already boarded it somewhere there.
Yeah, actually, this past weekend, we went to go see our first potential wedding venue, just to get a feel of what we like, what we don't like, what will work for the both of us. So right now, we're actually in the process of planning the lobola, traditional wedding, and then after that will be the white wedding. So it's all very exciting, and there's a lot that goes into it, you know? So enjoying the whole experience.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
you
wait.
Go. No, you go, because I want to... Okay, you go.
I've never been to a traditional wedding, and Tabisa said that I'm going to be his +1, and also we're going to come with Pauline. So just to let you know, you have 3 +3s right now, okay? We're all coming to the wedding.
We've RSVP'd.
This is us RSVP.
Before I let you go, Sia, have you thought about how many cows they might ask you for? An estimate, Nyana, prediction?
I have, I think as a guy, you go, you kind of got an idea in your head, but Omalume might have a different idea. So let's,
okay.
I don't know, we'll see on the day.
A lot.
Okay, we'll see. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys are fantastic. We love you. All the best.
We're going to keep you guys around because, as we know, the pandemic has become such an interesting part of Pauline and Sia's love story. And the same goes for anyone else who has gotten or is getting married during this time. Now, of course, our relationship expert, online clinical psychologist Asha Dullabh and wedding planner Cara Lee Pearce are on standby to give advice to couples as well as families planning weddings. So be sure to stick around for this interesting conversation, and do share your thoughts with us on our social media platforms. Expresso Morning Show on Ace3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. You're still live. You're on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Monday. It's all things relationship. And, of course, wedding season is in full swing. And if you've been able to attend one recently, it's probably safe to say there was after many postponements and very different from what the bride and groom had envisioned for themselves. Of course, it is Monday, and we're talking all things relationships. And today we're asking, have you planned a wedding during the pandemic? Online clinical psychologist Asha Dullabh, alongside wedding planner Cara Lee Pearce, are here today to help us discuss this. And we're also taking your questions as well as your comments via our Facebook page, and we would love to hear from you, ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
Am I the only person sitting here and quite almost literally hearing the bells? Just like the bells are going, people are getting engaged over here, over there, everywhere, right? The December period, the start of the new year, a lot of people start to really either manifest or actualize these things that happen. But we know that the engagement process is an exciting one, but also does come with, a sense of anxiety for so many people out there. Asha, you must deal with this a lot.
Yes, I certainly do. So, with excitement and anxiety, it's actually one of the same emotions. It brings about the same physiological responses, but the excitement is linked to the joy, and the anxiety is linked to the fear of what if. And of course, with the pandemic, there's a lot of what ifs. What if there's a postponement? There's a lot of unpredictability, uncertainty. So anxiety is amplified during this time. Already, planning a wedding is already a lot of anxiety, and dealing with all the family and the tribe and trying to keep everyone happy. There's a lot of expectation on the couple as well as both families that are involved in the wedding.
So the engagement comes with a sense of anxiety, but also the planning of a wedding that comes post-engagement comes with a great deal of anxiety on its own, which is quite fascinating.
And Cara, that's where you come in. You try to make the journey a bit easier for the couple. But of course, with the pandemic, that must be so difficult because they have certain things envisioned for themselves, but a lot of the restrictions restricted them from actually doing that. What advice do you have as they proceed and going into doing things differently for their engagement and their wedding?
Well, I think change is the word. I think people need to just be aware that it doesn't matter what happens. There is going to be a wedding. It might just look a little bit different. And that's okay. I think people need to start looking at things a little bit differently now. Weddings are not going to be the same. COVID is here, it's going to be around for a while, and so we just need to kind of adapt and be open to a little bit of change when it comes to weddings, whether it's size or venue or rules or having to postpone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I actually love these weddings that's been happening. It's so intimate. It's personal. You invite people that you actually want there.
Yes.
My cousin just got married like a couple of weeks ago. She had like 50 people and guess 25 from his side, 25 from her side, and it was just so beautiful. There wasn't, drama or this auntie saying this about the food. It was just so beautiful and peaceful. And I think that's what it comes down to. It's about celebrating the couple and the engagement and the union
The
between
essence
the two people.
of it, that's it. But for a lot of people, that's not necessarily how they see it, Asha. I think that for a lot of people, we spend so much of our lives playing out and mapping out in our minds and in our heads what our dream wedding is going to look like and who's going to be there. Oh, I can't wait for my auntie from London to be there or from KZN to be there. There's stress and anxiety on who can be there, who shouldn't be there, who must be there, who can make it, who can't make it, can otherwise take away from the beauty that a wedding should bring, right?
Yes.
And how do we then navigate that?
So, of course, Tabiso, it's the key word is intimacy. And I think we are changing now, where we are embracing more intimate, smaller weddings. And I think what's needed here is understanding and empathy from everybody, because at this point, we can't have all the people that we'd love to have at our weddings. Of course, we have this idea and this fairy tale, but we need to remember that there's we don't necessarily need the physical presence of an individual. We must trust that there are blessings and prayers and thoughts of people from all over the world that are there constantly. And we must enjoy this milestone event. It is one of the most important decisions people make. And I think we need to embrace technology. So many people are embracing technology now, having good wishes come through Zoom, live at their functions. So I think it's about adaptability and adjustment and change.
But it sounds like the job isn't just on the couple that's getting married. It's about everybody broadly understanding that the couple needs us to be there for them, to understand, to support, and give them the space and the latitude. This is fantastic. I love this.
Well, the ladies are not going anywhere. If you do want to weigh in with this conversation, have you been to a wedding during the pandemic? How has things changed for you? If you're maybe a couple that's going through this, let us know. Expresso Morning Show on S3. We'd love to hear from you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Everybody, yes, it is your feel-good breakfast show. Time to continue our conversation with regards to relationships this morning. Of course, it's Monday, so we are talking things relationships. And today we're asking, have you planned a wedding during the pandemic? We're back with online clinical psychologist Asha Dullabh, as well as wedding planner Cara Lee Pearce and newly engaged couple Pauline, Moeketsi and Tembe on video call to help unpack this topic. So do weigh in with your questions as well as your comments on our Facebook page. Ladies, a lot to still unpack with regards to this. Planning a wedding on its own is so stressful. We say there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of joy when it comes to this. But during a pandemic, there's a lot of things that you need to consider. I think the anxiety of planning it and how to scale everything down. And maybe I'll start with you, Cara. A lot of people had to scale things down. They had to think of creative ways to plan this wedding during this time. What are some of those ways that you've seen couples just become innovative and creative with how they're doing things?
Well, I think the first thing is live streaming. I think they take, it doesn't cost a fortune to do it professionally. Instead of just having someone hold a cell phone, I think doing it really nicely through YouTube or through Zoom, but with a company that knows what they're doing, can capture the entire wedding, but really nicely. So live streaming is something that most of my guests are starting to do now. And as well, a couple of my couples are doing gifts for those that they haven't been able to invite to the wedding. So they send out little gift boxes, and inside of it says, pop this champagne when we have our first kiss. We're sorry you couldn't make it, but thank you for being with us in spirit. So, it's to still make people feel that we're sorry that you couldn't come. It's not our fault. But, please understand, and here's a gift. It just makes people feel a little bit more appreciated.
I keep making the joke with my family. I said, guys, if I get married, I'm sending you the link on cricket.co.za. You guys can buy your tickets over there because it is so expensive. But I think of, just planning that actual wedding. With the restrictions, there's a lot of times that couples have to postpone the wedding, and that can become so emotional because you have this vision of it. What emotional impact does it have on the couple?
Yeah, Yeah, a date, I think, for some couples holds a lot of power and value to them, and people really plan a date. So I think being open to change, you know, the reality is that we do know that we are in unpredictable times, so we can plan for that unpredictable plans and just have a backup plan if something has to change. So have a maybe a blessing ceremony on the day, or if something has to change, and maybe do something later on. So adaptability, embracing change is very important. And planning, you know, I think just having that support from somebody, a planner or your family member really helps. Ask for help and receive help during a wedding. It just relieves the stress.
Two people that is also still with us right now, Pauline and Sia. Do you have any questions for Cara and Asha about the practical and also maybe the emotional realities of planning a wedding during the pandemic? I know you probably have a lot of questions for them, so the floor is yours to ask.
Thank you, Jamie. Just for Cara, so, you know, we went to go see a venue, we talked to, you know, the venue coordinator, and it seems like there are 1,000,001 moving parts when it comes to a wedding, the reception and everything. What is like what is the most common challenge for that? What's the most common challenge that you've kind of seen couples have, and maybe a tip on how to overcome it when it comes to the planning and the logistics of the whole day? Okay.
I think budget, to be honest. I think budget can cause a lot of drama. And if you haven't physically sit down together, put on a piece of paper or on an Excel spreadsheet exactly what you can afford. I think that's so important, because once you've got a budget, you can understand exactly what is going on. You can understand exactly what you can afford, what you can spend, and then you can pick and choose. So you can say, okay, great, this is what we want to put to the venue, this is what we want to put to flowers, and then realistically understand what the whole wedding is going to look like. Then you can chat to your venue and say, what do you include, what don't you include? Because that's really important too. Not every venue is the same. Some venues don't include tables and chairs. So you need to make sure that you've got enough budget for that. So I'd say budget first, everything else later.
What about you, Asha? Do you have any last words, advice for the couple as they go into this new season?
I think for me, it's a narrative, it's a story, so make it a beautiful story. It's a story that you're going to be telling for years, and so have fun, enjoy it, share in this beautiful energy of love. Just have fun.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining us, as well as Pauline. And of course, Sia, you guys are going into this brand new journey. Enjoy it, enjoy one another. And again, don't forget to send our invites. We are all coming along with you. For you, Mzansi, if you have journeyed a long way to your pandemic wedding day, it's important to acknowledge those difficult feelings and try your best to focus on the positive. Love is love. It is beautiful, and we love to see it. So keep wedding.